thank you very much, Prabdeep, for talking to Money Control. Just wanted to start by asking you, to tell us a little more about this initiative. You have announced 10 crore worth of rides. How is this going to work out? If you can take us through the modalities.
Sure. Firstly, thanks for having me, Chandra. At Uber, we truly believe that transportation should not become a barrier for
Hmm.
world's largest vaccination drive as it gets into second phase. So as part of that, we are committing 10 crore worth of free rides in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, different state governments and NGOs. We want to be able to offer these rides to the vulnerable sections of the society so that they can easily get to and from the vaccination centers in a safe and reliable manner. And to do that, we have tried to put in place a reasonably frictionless, simple technology-led approach where if you are a vulnerable citizen who is eligible for a vaccination and going to a specific location, or you are booking a ride for somebody who needs to go to the vaccination center or back, you need to open the Uber app. And we have already at the back end geofenced every single vaccination center in 35 plus cities, either whether they be private centers or government mandated centers. You just need to enter a code and that will allow you to take a free ride to the center or back. And we hope that in the process, more and more people who otherwise would have been constrained because of transportation are able to truly avail this service.
Since March, April last year, when things were really bad for cab aggregators, to now, how has it changed? Are we back to normal? At least in Bangalore, the traffic seems to be back at normal levels, and I hear that's how it is even in Delhi and Mumbai. So, in terms of business for Uber, in terms of the rides that you're seeing, is it business as usual now?
Chandra, I would argue this a crisis of this scale, nothing is as usual. Not and when it comes to ride sharing closer home, I think I'm very very encouraged to see the strong recovery across the category as people have started to step out. We have begun to see a massive coming back of demand on the platform. We are seeing a lot more drivers being able to use the service to earn a livelihood. We are seeing categories like Uber Auto or Uber Intercity, Uber Moto beginning to take acceleration. Some of the categories like auto is actually now recovered to levels which are higher than pre-COVID, and we're beginning to
Hmm.
see a massive resurgence of demand on the platform. Having said that, we recognize that there are still use cases. For example, not all offices have yet opened. Uh, uh,
Correct.
Airport-related travel is still little subdued and will begin to bounce back. And as that happens, I expect ride-sharing as a category to actually benefit from the post-COVID acceleration because we are seeing adoption of digital payments. The safety processes which have been deployed have been welcomed. We are beginning to see more and more riders adopt the digital ride-sharing technologies which players like us are providing.
In terms of investments, in terms of hiring, where are you today compared to say March, April last year when you had to undertake cost cutting, undertake streamlining of operations and layoff, something that every internet company was doing at that point. But where are you now? Have you managed to reverse some of that? Are you sort of stepping up investments in hiring? Because you said demand is returning.
The pandemic was a tough period for many industries, including
Hmm.
ride sharing. And I think businesses had to take tough calls in context of what was required at that point of time. I think forward looking, there are three things which are playing out. One is the category is bouncing back very strongly, as I mentioned. Second, for when it comes to Uber, India is not just a critical market where we want to serve a larger rider base and driver base. It's also a market where we want to build technology solutions for the world. So we are
Hmm.
ramping up hiring, for example, in our engineering centers in Bangalore and Hyderabad at large scale. In fact, post the pandemic, we have accelerated our hiring in these locations. We are continuing to scale our presence in cities. For example, we have launched multiple new cities over the last 3 months where we did not have operations earlier, which means we are expanding our footprint. We're also bringing in new services and we continue to bring in more services so that people can find a full plethora of solutions on the platform. And the third thing which is playing out is long-term Uber's commitment to India is definite. Our success is deeply hardwired in the success of India and vice versa. And we believe we can play a material role in helping India adopt futuristic mobility solutions. And we are committed to making those bets, those investments. And as that happens, hiring will pick up. As that happens, more resources will be deployed. As that happens, new technology solutions will be provided.
Right. In fact, I was just coming to that, Prabjeet. You mentioned yourself new mobility solutions, new technology solutions. Everybody's, taking a huge bet on EVs going forward. So again, what would your strategy be in that direction? How are you going to step up commitment or investments there?
Chandra, this is a topic which we are deeply, deeply cognizant of and something we are deeply committed to. You have heard our global CEO, Dara Khosrowshahi, commit that by 2040, globally, we will be emission free. Different geographies will get to those milestones at different point of time. Coming closer home to India, our commitment to providing a sustainable mode of travel is absolute. What that means, however, is that we will make investments as required, but at the same time, this is a collective responsibility where multiple players have to come together. There have to be OEMs, there have to be battery infrastructure which has to be put together. There have to be ride-sharing platforms like us who have to play a role to match demand and supply so that people are incentivized to buy a vehicle and be able to bring clean vehicles to the platform. We truly believe alliances and partnerships are a way forward. Therefore, at Uber, thereby, we have already made multiple such commitments and are doing multiple pilots and partnerships. So, for example, we have a tie-up with Yulu, where we have done some pilots with their self-drive electric vehicle. We have done partnerships with Sun Mobility, which is doing experiments in the battery swapping infrastructure. We have done some pilots with Mahindra, which is making electric vehicles. And we are also continuing to look for multiple other ways where we can then bring the technology solutions. I believe this is an ongoing journey, but we are fully committed to be an integral part of the solution as that happens. And we are in active dialogue with multiple state governments, central governments, OEMs, and players in the ecosystem to both bring our expertise and also offer our platform for rapid experimentation.